Grandfather watches the grandfather clock, and the phone hasn't rang for so long, and the time flies by like a vulture in the sky. Suddenly he breaks into song, and I'm waiting by the phone, waiting for you to call me up and tell me I'm not alone. And I'm waiting by the phone, waiting for you to call me up and tell me I'm not alone. 'Cause I want somebody to shove. I need somebody to shove. I want somebody to shove me. Welcome to another episode of the apocalypse. Since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I, unfortunately for me, am that guide. Your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you again. It seems, it appears, the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of Leon's debris, his space junk repository. Since rocket after rocket to nowhere seems to explode mid-bloody air. That is where your tax money is going. For Leon would be naught but a used car salesman without all that welfare you have given him simply for him to blow it up in midair and rain it back down on us. Isn't it wonderful? I'm sure you will argue to defend that all day and twice on Sunday. Now, let us begin. And I've been gathering stuff since Friday night, Saturday morning, something like that. So good to see you again. Let me get comfortable. Philippines bans poultry imports from New York, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. Well, that doesn't sound good when countries are starting to ban our products because they're not safe. And, you know, Donnie and Leon are taking down any guardrails that are left as far as food safety, bird flu monitoring, all that shit, all gone. They're trying to hire some people back, I think, for like the weather service. And then they try and hire some people back for the bird flu response after they fired them all. Because again, the point of this exercise, the moral of the incident is America's being dismantled and looted. This is Vlad's big chance. This is Leon's big chance, Donnie's big chance to grift trillions. Vlad's big chance, Donnie's big chance to carve up the world into what they want it to be. Unfortunately for all of us and them as well, there isn't that many years left for them to carve up the world. I know they think they have a whole bunch of time, or they're pretending like they do, but they don't. And I can tell by the urgency. Something else that also occurred to me, again, I talked about how in such a short amount of time, it doesn't make logical sense that man made this leap in knowledge. And in the story, knowledge is supposed to be increased vastly in the last days. So it doesn't make sense to me logically that within the span of 150 years or 100 years, technology went from the horse and buggy to space travel, cellular phones where you can talk to someone on the other side of the world wirelessly. These are huge leaps in knowledge. Now we've got the maximum expression of humans trying to create something new called artificial intelligence. All of that also made me, I had kind of an epiphany or a realization, I guess you could say, today actually, that maybe that's an indicator that certain entities in the both realms don't have a lot of time, and they know that. So better give man this knowledge now and let him run with it till he gets where I need him to be. Artificial intelligence, baby. That's where I need him to be. And the artificial intelligence is getting much smarter. It's creeping me out, actually. The leaps they've made recently, because they really need to. And I'm wondering what that final AI, that Donnie AI that Altman's creating, I wonder what that's going to be like. That should be fun, right? Anyway, let me go on to the next thing. I didn't mean to talk about AI, but the point is the time frame, the urgency, the desperation by them, the amount of things that are happening per day and being said per day, and how we're being softened up for worse and worse things. That's what they're doing right now. And the increase in knowledge in a span of 100 years, or 150, however you want to look at it, makes me wonder or think that they don't have a lot of time. And that's why it happened. Anyway, let's go to the next thing. Trump was asked yesterday about Putin increasing strikes on civilian targets after we cut off intel. And this is Donnie's response. He's doing what anybody else would do. I think he's hitting them harder than he's been hitting them. And I think probably anybody in his position would be doing that right now. Well, Donnie would say that because he's just like Vlad. He's just as evil, just as disgusting. And in the end, Donnie may out evil Vlad, and that's hard to fucking do, man. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Donnie wants to be that. Donnie is that Vlad. That same thing, same entity. He just has guardrails over here and a culture over here that hasn't accepted it yet. The full reveal of him just being the monster that he fucking is. What we've seen is bad enough. My point is, of course, Donnie would say something like this. None of the rest of us, though, that aren't sociopaths, that can think for ourselves, no, we wouldn't be bombing women and children for no fucking reason. Just to terrorize them. Not gaining any territory, not really making any gains in the war, just terrorizing people. And then there's the whole rape and torture and kidnapping stuff going on. Yeah, I don't think most of us would be doing that. I think Vlad's doing okay in life, don't you? I think he's got enough money, women, whatever the fuck he wants. Why does he need Ukraine too? It's just ridiculous. It's just pure mobster oligarchy, just because I want it. Millions die of his people, Ukrainians, all the different people, parties involved. For one man. Again, the men of Russia should have handled that problem a long time ago. I'm rather disgusted that they have not. So Donnie would say something like that, and as Donnie's saying this, he's also betraying Ukraine. He's supposed to be helping them. Again, we made a deal with them back in the 90s. If you get rid of your nukes, we got your back. Here's Donnie literally talking about the enemy hitting them harder, as he's supposed to be the man who's supposed to be providing help to Ukraine in that very moment. Instead, he's actually basically aligned himself with Vlad. We're the enemy now to Ukraine. And they're not hiding it. When Donnie makes statements like that, well, I'm not helping them. And, Vlad's hitting them harder than ever. But, that's what anybody would do. That just shows you what a monster he is. Anyway, this is Zelensky. Right underneath that post, last night the Russian army struck the center of Dobropelia in a Donetsk region with 2 ballistic missiles. After emergency services arrived at the scene, they launched another strike. So they're intentionally hitting the response team to their initial strikes as well. This is the level of evil we're dealing with Vlad Putin. Oh, and I know a lot of you, you have this thing about calling him Putin, like poo-poo. I don't like calling him poo-poo or Putin. I think it sounds dumb. I think it sounds too soft. Putin sounds right to me. That's why I use that. Oops, I went the wrong way. Excuse me. Let's go to the next thing. Jim Stewartson says, let's be very clear. We need to put this to rest. Elon Musk is an official, actual Nazi. Well, yeah, I would say Leon Scum's a Nazi. The Heil Hitler at the, what was that, the inaugural party? That told me enough. I could go on with my list of reasons, but let's hear Jim's list of reasons. Born to Nazi mom, dad, and grandparents, yes. Grew up in racist apartheid, yes. Named after a Nazi sci-fi book, yes. Overt Nazi signals, 1488, 4chan. Yes, he's used 88. He's used these numbers that have significance in the white supremacist movement. All the time he uses them. 2 Hitler salutes, yeah. 2 Nazi DOGE logos, yeah. Terror of white replacement, yes. Terror of immigrants, yes. Pro-natalist, yes. Pro-eugenics, yes. Pro-AFD, yes. Pro-Afrikaner, yes. Hates DEI, CRT, and woke mind virus. Nothing has been a greater example of DEI hiring, unqualified hiring based on race, than the Trump administration, especially this second iteration of it. My God, none of these people are qualified. They're all abject sycophants, utterly fucking unqualified. Half of them jailbirds, pardoned criminals, rapists, all kind of motherfuckers. Every evil scumbag you can think of, not a damn one of them qualified. So anyone that lets the term DEI slip come through their lips at me, I'm just gonna laugh at you. Oh my God, the last administration, you had Ivanka as an advisor, you had Don Jr. as an advisor. Like, get the fuck out of here. And you people dare spout the phrase DEI at anyone. Oh my God. No one has been a greater example of corruption, nepotism, and DEI than Donnie Shitbags Trump. Nobody. So fuck off with all the, we don't like the DEI stuff. You are DEI, son. You are it. You're the hand of it. And the woke mind virus. Yes, these things don't exist, people. These are phrases, buzzwords for rubes to herd the rubes in a certain direction. So they waste their time on phrases like woke mind virus as they steal your tax money and put it in a damn pocket right in front of your face. And you talking about CRT, DEI, woke mind virus. That's why you lost your country, son. Because you focused on DEI, CRT, and woke mind virus. That's why you don't have a motherfucking country anymore. And your children's future is fucking zero, nothing. That's what you got. Wait till you see how this unveils. You ain't seen nothing yet. And this list keeps going, baby. Let's finish it. Obsessed with racism against whites. Yeah, Leon just said today or yesterday that Starlink, he can't do Starlink in South Africa because he's white. He's not black. Yeah, that's the phrase he used, not black. Obsessed with racism against whites. I mean, let's be honest, people. The white race has dominated this planet for a long time. And it's only because we got technology first that other race groups did not get. And I have a feeling I know where that technology, that knowledge came from. Now, when you have that knowledge, you also have to have the will to subjugate and enslave other people as well. That was also within the white race, big time. Not that other racial groups didn't have slaves, because they sure as fuck did. But the white race seemed to take it to a whole nother level. And I have a feeling a certain entity knew they would. And that's why they got the knowledge first. That makes me worry because I am white. Makes me worry why the devil came to the white race with that knowledge first. Because it ain't because white people are smarter. Has nothing to do with that. Has to do with what the spiritual realm viewed you as. Is that a good repository for the knowledge I need for my agenda, which is right now? That's his agenda right now. What's going on? That's about to get a million times worse. Again, you people don't just get to vote evil this time and walk away unscathed. I am very sorry. This is the time where God said, now you're going to have to pay for your choices. Now the bill is due for the entire world, starting with America. Since we're the Rome of the day, we must fall, son. You are the hand of our fall, by the way, MAGA rubes. Pat yourself on the back with that hand. You've done an excellent and thorough job. I'm proud of you. Wants to eliminate trans people, including his own daughter. Yeah, trying to destroy democracies around the world and replace them with fascist dictatorships. Yes, Leon's all about that. So's Vlad. Invading the federal government with cyber criminals. Yep. Turn Twitter into a Nazi indoctrination. Yep. Personally reinstated numerous violent criminal Nazis. Yep. Interacts with hundreds of known Nazis, anti-Semites, and anonymous Nazi accounts. Yes, I've seen it. Has a massive Nazi following who defend him voraciously as our guy. What did I miss? Exactly. That's a great list. And that's not even the whole list. There's probably more. Yeah, there's many reasons, examples, evidence that Leon is indeed a Nazi. And for me, the one that seals it, I don't know about you, was the straight up Heil Hitler at the inaugural party. You can't just talk your way out of that. And he did that. He didn't do it half-heartedly, half-assed. He did it sincere with a hard chest slap. With what passes for a chest, Leon had his chest out when he did it. I guess the special K and the ecstasy was really kicking in. He got the full release the 2 hours, later in the bloodstream. So he got a little happy and let a cat out the bag he shouldn't have. Not that the Nazi haircuts, that kind of gave it away for me years ago. Anyway, speaking of traitors, July 1987, Moscow, USSR. Trump is 41 years old. He flies to Moscow at the invitation of the USSR ambassador to the USA, Dubinin. Returning from Moscow, the bankrupt Donald Trump suddenly receives loans from 16 banks and without bargaining, buys the Plaza Hotel for $407 million. A record price for a hotel. I didn't know Donnie paid that much for it, and I grew up in that literal area where the Trump Plaza was, or the Plaza Hotel. So yes, all of a sudden, Donnie had a bunch of money to buy a casino to, keep that money laundering operation going. Right after a trip to Moscow. Isn't that interesting? I told you he couldn't get loans at a certain point in America anymore. He had to turn to other people. Donnie never actually made money. He lived on credit. Oh, I'll just take out another loan for $800 million or whatever. You know what I mean? Finally, the bank said, yeah, we don't want to deal with this fucking deadbeat anymore that runs around bragging how much money he has, yet he don't pay us. So he had to turn to somebody else. What do guys like him always do? You turn to the loan shark, right? Who's the loan shark? Well, that'd be Vlad, the Russian mob. That's the loan shark. And if you want to see a picture from back then. A young Donnie shitbags. Well, if you consider 41 young. In this society, I think when you hit 22, you're supposed to retire. I don't know, though. A lot of the kids looking kind of flabby in the cell phone internet age, I must say. Probably a lot less physical activity going on. Anyway, this is a county in South Dakota. Again, people voting for their own demise because they thought, if I'm in the cult, it can't touch me. The dictator won't touch me. This desire for fascism and a dictator, simply because they have the letter I'm looking for next to their name, which is an R for Republican. It can't touch me. It can't hurt me. It's only going to hurt the liberals. I hear Leon and Donnie and the whole Republican thing. I hear them saying they want to hurt people. They want to round people up. They want to go after the libs. They want to hurt transgender people. They want to hurt gays. They want to do this. They want to go after all these different people, and I like it. And it's never going to touch me. I know it. Because you know nothing of history, or you just choose to ignore it. The dictator touches everyone. Always. And there's no avoiding it. Especially this dictator. Again, people, this is the beast. You're going to see atrocities you can't imagine by the end of this. A farming county that voted just shy of 70% for Trump loses its farm services center, which connected farmers with government programs. This is right before planting season begins. And this is in South Dakota, Codington County Farm Services Agency, the first real estate closure in the state. Wall of receipts, annual lease $238,000, total savings $278,000. Oh, that's how much DOGE is saving us by shutting down a fucking farm center in South Dakota. As if there's a lot in South Dakota, right? They probably need that farm center. Of course you guys need it. Not a lot of attention gets paid to South Dakota. And the one little thing that they do have gets taken away so Leon can put, I saved you $278,000. Well, what about the $43 billion in contracts you just got, son? That negates any fucking savings. Well over the savings. And then they tried to give Leon, remember, the 400 million or 400 billion, excuse me, contract for cyber trucks for the government. Remember that? Then the heat got turned up by the public. They didn't like that idea. So they put that contract on the back burner. But don't worry, Leon will get it again eventually. Once a little bit more fascism is in place. Don't worry. But again, here's some farmers in South Dakota that just fucked themselves. Again, this is different from all the times you voted evil. All the other times, all the 40 years of your life, whatever, 50, 60, 70 years of your life, that you voted evil and you got to walk away unscathed. Except for the long-term destruction of your society up till this point. You know, the Reaganizing of America, where all the money goes to the rich, and then hopefully when they take a piss, a couple drops of it hits us. Well, this is the time where, in a short span of time, not 40 years, not 50 years, weekly, monthly, yearly, you will have huge effects on your life. Yes, even you cult members, you're witnessing it right now. Here's another example of it. That's why I keep showing you these examples. These are just the people brave enough to admit what's going on and that they voted for it. So imagine how many more there are out there that are too ashamed to speak, too embarrassed to speak, that, lost their government job. They thought they were special because they're in the cult. They thought they were too important to fire, which not one human being on this planet is too important to fire. That doesn't exist, son. Sorry to break it to you. And a lot of you are finding it out. You all thought you were not the trash. You are not the garbage. You are not the waste. Guess what? You're all three of those in those people's eyes. They don't give a fuck about you. They're dismantling and looting the place. And it's obvious. You're also being softened up for an attack of some sort. And it's obvious. Doesn't take a military genius or a strategic genius to figure this the fuck out, what's going on. So a bunch of farmers in South Dakota just fucked themselves. And Donnie slapped a bunch of tariffs on all the different countries around the world that you guys do business with. So I'm sure that'll help the farmers in South Dakota as well. Way to go. And again, this is the time that you don't get to vote for evil and walk away unscathed. Now it's coming to every one of your doorsteps. The bill is due for your votes for the past 50 fucking years. Because it resulted in the end voting for the literal Antichrist. I'm not even joking. And you're going to see that over time. Don't worry. Again, you don't have to believe me. I'm not trying to convince you. Again, I'm just trying to guide you through it. Don't worry. What you're about to see in the next 3 years will convince you. You don't need me to convince you. Reality will convince you. Unfortunately for all of us. Oh, Spicy's back. I've been hoping Spicy came back. I mean, hey, it's the fucking apocalypse. Might as well bring Spicy back for the end, right? The season finale of the world, and especially America. Our great United States Naval Academy needs a new board of visitors. I am pleased to announce that an incredible group of patriots will serve on the board. Walt Nauta, I thought it was Nuta, but whatever. Sean Spicy Spicer. He didn't write Spicy. I added that part. Doc Ronnie Jackson. Oh, the guy who was passing out pills like Tic Tacs in the White House, you know, as they were talking about all this anti-fentanyl legislation and stuff. Meanwhile, Donnie and Ronnie and all the boys, they popping pills like Tic Tacs. Derek Van Orden is the other one. Together, they will ensure continued greatness for the Academy. So look, Spicy Spicer got another job he's utterly unqualified for. Another DEI hire. Happens to be the right skin color as well. Happens to be a very loyal sycophant, even though in the first administration, Donnie threw that fat-ass motherfucker right under the bus when the press just kept harping on how he's got to tell these lies for Donnie on a daily. That happened to every press secretary Donnie had. Even McEnany got her credibility just utterly ruined by constantly lying for a compulsive liar. You kind of lose your credibility, you know, and Spicy ended up on Dancing with the Stars and shit like that. And now look, the sycophancy has paid off for Spicy. And now he's on, what is this? The Naval Academy Board of Visitors, whatever the fuck that is. I'm sure it comes with a very nice, big, fat salary for very little work. I wouldn't mind having the job, but I would never work for Donnie. And he would never hire me because I'm not an utter sycophant yes man. I'm the literal opposite of that. Oh, this is kind of just a joke right here. I'm not missing a rent payment. I'm just detoxing from my landlord. And the reason they're saying that is because the U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, there's going to be a detox period for the economy. That's a nice way to say your economy's about to crash and you're about to suffer some real hardship. He's calling it detox. That's why this person's making a joke about their rent. They're just detoxing from their landlord. Okay, here's a reporter asking Donnie about the market. What do you make of the market sell-off this week? Donnie says, I think it's globalists that see how rich our country's going to be and they don't like it. Globalists. That's why I'm reading this to you. I'm noticing Donnie use the term globalist. I'm noticing Mike Johnson use the term globalist when he talks about people that are really fucking pissed at these Republican town halls. They can't even have the town halls. They just stopped having them because every single Republican that went back to their district was getting yelled at by their own people. So they got to come up with another reason for that. And you rubes always love lines like this. It was the FBI. It was Antifa. It's act blue or whatever, bussing people in. No, no one's being bussed in, son. You have Leon and Donnie dismantling and looting a country, and people are losing their jobs in the hundreds of thousands so far. Eventually, it's going to be in the millions of government employees that will lose their jobs. You have all kind of services being closed down. You have talk of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid being cut. They've been wanting to do that since fucking Nixon, baby. Now they're about to do it. So rightly so, justified anger, even though half the people in these town halls, if not all of them, voted Donnie. Now they crying. Now they yelling at their representatives. You voted for it. You got what you wanted. What are you mad about? You should be happy, right? You're owning the libs, right? Anyway, no one's being bussed into these town halls because they don't need to be bussed in. People are fucking furious, and people are starting to see the writing on the wall, even though they told you before the election. Leon and Donnie told you exactly what they were going to do. We're going to come in and fire everyone. They went, as far as you could go without abject saying that. They let you know a lot of people were going to lose their job. How stupid are you to vote for that? They tell you in advance. We're going to dismantle the whole motherfucker. Donnie shows you he's going to be on a revenge tour. You liked it. That's the problem. That's why you did it. The thought of hurting other people appeals to you. That's simple. You're just like Donnie at this point. Here's the funny part, though. That dog just bit you in the ass and you lost your job or whatever. Now you want to cry about it. Again, they told you in advance what they were going to do. You didn't hear none of it. And now you're, oh my God, how did this happen to me? Well, they told you what they were going to do. And we all yelled from the mountaintops for 8 fucking years, begging you not to do it again. But we're all tricksters and idiots out here, right? We all have a nefarious agenda. No. And back to my original point here, globalists, that term's being thrown around because that works on you rubes. As you're furious in the town halls, they just go on Fox News and Donnie will just tell a reporter, well, it's the globalists. Guess what, you fucking idiots? Every rube out there that voted for this, the ultimate globalists are the Antichrist and the false prophet, which are Leon and Donnie. Leon is the richest man in the world. No one is more globalist than him, Pete Thale, Donnie, etc. They don't want borders anymore. I showed you the technocrat map or the technit map from the fucking Nazi movement that Leon's granddaddy was a part of. That's what they want. That's called globalism. You know, that shit that Alex Jones lied to you about for 40 fucking years and said it was a liberal ideology and blah, blah, fucking blah. No, it's a fascist ideology. And nothing is closer to fascism than right-wing politics. That's why it was an easy leap for the right wing to go from alleged conservative politics to fascism. And it was the inevitable conclusion because one of the elements of conservative politics is nationalism and racism. They don't say it, but we see it every day. So the term globalist, okay? You are literally the hand of globalism, the MAGA cult, and anyone that votes Republican from this point forward. Well, for the past 40 years, what am I talking about? You are the hand of globalism. You're the hand of Satan. You made the false prophet and Antichrist happen. So in other words, you're the hand of the globalist movement. The heads of the globalist movement are Donnie, Leon, Thale, Vlad, these people. The globalist movement also happens to be a white nationalist or Nazi movement. Again, all the people at the top of it are fucking white guys. And the white nationalists in America like Cerno, Alex Jones, etc., they're part of it. They're all down with it. They're fine with globalism. In other words, it's quite ironic that Mike Johnson and Donnie are using the word globalist all over the place all of a sudden, again, because they know it works on you fucking idiots. Only reason it's used. Meanwhile, they are the globalists. They are the Satanists. Again, they are the pedos. Everything you said the liberals were, these cunts are, and you know it. So if you continue to follow them, you're going to end up in the same place they end up. And that's called the abyss. That's called the lake of fire. That's not a joke. That's not just a story. That's real, son. I hate to break it to you. Otherwise, my punk ass wouldn't be on camera at 3 whatever in the morning. I'm here because I have knowledge you do not. That's simple. Therefore, I'm responsible. I must share it with you, no matter what it does to me or you. So when Mikey and Donnie throw the term globalist at you, they're projecting again. They are the globalists. That's literally what they're trying to do. Leon especially. So again, the irony is quite thick. But they know those buzzwords work on fucking stupid people, biased people. The MAGA cult is literally the hand of globalism and Satanism right now. That very thing that Alex yelled about for 40 years, he was the hand of, and you were the hand of. That's a fucked up existence, son. You need to look in the mirror again and reevaluate the entirety of your existence. And get your name off of this before it's too late. Yes, Canada took Jack Daniels off the shelves. The county in Kentucky that produces Jack Daniels whiskey voted 5-1 for the Orange Bloviator. The largest purchaser is the province of Ontario, but they only pay for it once it's sold. They are sending it all back with no payment. Jack Daniels just laid off over 650 employees. Again, a Kentucky company. I'm sure many rubes work there. And I hate seeing anyone, be they rube or not, lose their job. But again, you people begged for it. You boasted of it. You cheered it on. Now the axe found you. That you were hoping was going to find the people you don't like. So here's Jack Daniels literally being taken off of shelves in Canada because of Leon and Donnie's dream of stealing Canada, slicing it up between them and their oligarch buddies as part of their technocracy that includes Greenland, Canada, the United States, Mexico, Central America, and the top part of South America. I don't know why they just didn't put all of South America in the North American technate, but whatever. Maybe because it's under the equator, I guess. I don't know why these people do what they do, or why this map even exists. What kind of evil fuck even comes up with this stuff? Again, it's all inspired of Satan. Anyway, let's move to the next thing. Oh, that's in a month and a half. Donnie was able to, about a month actually, not even a month and a half. Donnie was able to make that Jack Daniels thing happen. How do you feel about that, Kentucky? Are you proud of your vote? Are you happy you voted McConnell back in 19 times? Not that the elections probably weren't rigged as a motherfucker for McConnell. That's good old boy country over there. And McConnell always seemed very relaxed around election time. I don't know if you noticed that. I always noticed it. So I know what's up in backwoods Kentucky. I know the vote's always going to go the same way no matter what, if you catch my drift. So, again, in a month, Donnie has all our allies hating us. American product coming off shelves. Leon's got people canceling Starlink left and right. It's not funny. It's the end of everything. It's the end of our country. 200-some year experiment ended because of rubes, uneducated, fucking biased idiots, and fat wannabe dictator oligarchs that no one ever liked. So they're taking it out on us. Namely Leon and Donnie, both born rich as fuck, never had to work a hard day in their life. Not one. The Department of Health and Human Services has granted DOGE access to a sensitive child support database with troves of income data. Oh, business owners love income data. So do political groups. Oh my God, that's like gold. It's like diamonds. These lists that Leon and the Hitler Youth are gathering. Overriding the objections of career employees, the database contains substantial amounts of personal income data linked to nearly all U.S. workers. Well, that's great. All your child support type information, that's all now in Leon's hands and the Hitler Youth and Donnie's hands. And all of the U.S. workers' personal income data out there, that's now in Leon's hands. But again, Leon got the Treasury already. He's got that info. Social Security's got that info. He's got everything about you, every nuance of your life. And so the Hitler Youth, you know, the dudes like the kid straight out of high school called Big Balls, that, you know, ran a business protecting pedophiles online as they peruse things they shouldn't be looking at. This, I think, is a brilliant piece of work. It's rather disgusting to look at, but it makes a bold statement. Donnie playing the role of the bitch, of course. So Donnie and Vlad just carving up the world, and that's what's been going on the past at least 20 years with the social media realms. And Donnie's been all too happy to help since the mid-'80s. You literally voted for a Russian asset 3 times. A literal, verified Russian asset. Are you proud of yourself? And Vlad got his wildest dreams. And again, you were shown what this thing was, this Donnie Shitbags thing. You were shown over and over and over again what a cretin, disgusting criminal he is. And it didn't sway you. It tells me only one thing, that you're just like him. And it's all going to cost your country, son. Leon Scum is no longer following Secretary Duffy. That's the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy. And there are accounts that keep track of who Elon follows and unfollows, because when Leon gets mad at somebody, oftentimes he'll unfollow them. Didn't he unfollow Grimes, one of his mothers of his children? Recently, wasn't it? I believe it was. After she got on Twitter and said, "Hey, can you speak to me? I got like 3 of your fucking kids here, and I don't know what to do. Can we get a meeting, talk for 5 minutes?" And then the other woman, of course, that had his child, I forget her name already. Ashley St. Clair, was it? The latest baby mama in the oligarch Jerry Springer show, that is Leon. So yes, Leon, remember they had that meeting with the cabinet where Rubio and Duffy and all the different department heads and Leon butted heads. And Leon got embarrassed and basically just blurted out, "Well, what about the people, that are under DEI that are working there?" That's always the big retort. So Leon, again, when he gets mad at certain people, I've seen this happen before. He's like a 3-year-old. "Oh, I'm going to unfollow you." Elon Musk is a nonce. I'm not sure where this sign went up. I tried to verify it and find it. I couldn't. But I still think it's brilliant. And if you don't know what a nonce is, Look it up. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right because it's not an American saying. I believe it's a British saying. Nonce. Look it up. I'm not going to say what it means. Leon is a nonce. How many Trump voters are now suffering from Trump unemployment syndrome? Indeed, people love to use that phrase, Trump derangement syndrome, even though it's played the fuck out from like 10 years ago. I still see people using it here and there. You always get the greatest hits with the online bots and trolls. They don't really come up with new material very often. But so, yeah, how many Trump voters are now suffering from Trump unemployment syndrome? Again, you were all warned for 8 fucking years. But you knew better. Always remember that. You knew better. When you're wondering why your country's going down in fucking flames. And again, this isn't a partisan thing. It's just going to happen. You're watching it happen. It doesn't matter what letters next to the candidate's son. Your country is being dismantled and looted, and it will happen. It is happening, and it's not going to be stopped. I'm sorry. We got to walk down this path thanks to the rubes and the greedy. It is written. And I'd love to see, millions of people get out on the streets and stop it. That will not happen. They'll try, though, and I applaud their effort. This is another woman, Jennifer Piggott, abruptly fired from her civil service job. Her days of supporting the president are over. Again, in Jennifer's little video, I did not hear the remorse. I haven't heard one yet where I heard true remorse, true understanding, a true sincere change of heart. I haven't seen one yet. I see a lot of you, once it comes to your door, and I told you it would, from the second he got elected, I got right on camera, I told you it's coming to every one of your doorsteps. Don't matter how loyal you are, how valuable you think you are, whatever. And we're watching this day after day, more and more MAGA people coming forward saying, oh, wow, I got fucked. Yeah, we told you were going to get fucked. But you didn't want to hear that. You had wisdom. You were wise. You knew better. Now you're unemployed. So did you know better? No, you did not. Again, Trump or Jennifer Piggott was fired from her civil service job. I'll read this, whatever. This isn't me saying it. She's another sorry MAGA lowlife who believes she'd be safe. That his retribution would only affect minorities and brown people. Well, not just minorities and brown people. People not like them. Liberals, socialists, people they would call socialists. People that aren't down with the right-wing fascist grift thing. Anyone not like them. That's really who they thought it would hurt. Because they're waste and abuse. They're worthless people in MAGA people's minds. And the MAGA people think, we're the important people. We wouldn't get fired. They would only fire liberals and transgenders and gays and DEI people, which is code for black. They wouldn't touch me. Well, again, person after person, thousands of you. And again, we're only in the first month and a half. Imagine how much worse it's going to get for you. Thousands. You've lost your job, and Leon laughs about it. Oh, and I got to give it to, what's his name, Mike Myers? They brought back on to Saturday Night Live to play Leon. No one plays Leon like Mike Myers. It's perfect. It's beautiful. He nails it every time. I think Dana Carvey tried to play him first. It was good. Dana's always good. But Mike is really perfect for this role of playing Leon. No one does it better. I hope Mike continues to do it. And the best Trump I've ever seen was Alec Baldwin. He was my favorite. No one even comes close to Alec Baldwin's Trump. He was born to do it. Anyway, kudos to Mike Myers and kudos to Saturday Night Live for bringing him back. Eventually, Donnie will probably shut you down and throw you all in the gulag, though. But I respect you guys for doing what you always do, because you don't know what I know. You don't know the gulag's coming for guys like you, the people that make fun of Caesar and Fat Leon and all that. The gulag is coming for all you guys. But I applaud your bravery, and I dig what you're doing. Measles cases in the U.S. surged 35% in 1 week, now at 222 in 12 states. We're nearing last year's total of 285, and it's only March. 2 deaths already, both unvaccinated. Texas is the epicenter with 198 cases. Another kind of just comment. Good news for Trump supporters. They no longer have to fear immigrants eating their dogs and cats. Yeah, remember all that shit? Now all they have to worry about is losing their jobs, health insurance, Social Security, and basic human rights. Indeed, yeah, that's what we've been saying again for 8 years. That's where this is going. And this time they really mean it. And you're going to lose all those things, most likely. Your job, health insurance, Social Security, and human rights. Definitely going to lose those. So, hey, but again, at least you don't have to worry about alleged Haitians eating people's pets, which was a total fabrication, by the way, in case you were wondering. U.S. aid to Ukraine since February 2022 totals $128 billion, mostly older weapons, not cash. The crypto industry is seeking a bailout of $100 billion from the U.S. Treasury. That is cash. Remember that when crypto CEOs accuse anyone else of grifting. In other words, when Leon says Zelensky is grifting or stealing money or whatever lie Leon tells or his bots tell or his trolls tell, always remember what the crypto people are about to do to you and are doing. They want $100 billion bailout, probably more than that. Your tax money's about to go into crypto, son, simply because a bunch of billionaires bought too much crypto and the shit almost became worthless. So they started a PAC and started throwing money at people like Donnie and others. Now they're getting their wish come true, where your tax money supports their fuck-ups in fake investment land. Once again, it's all about saving billionaires. It's never about the ordinary citizen, ever. It's always some shitty little appeasement, some tiny little tax break at the end of the year, or a rebate, or some bitch-ass $1,200 check. Meanwhile, crypto cunts get $100 billion. And if you dare, go to apply for some welfare or anything, now you're a scumbag, you're a loser, and, they're trying to get you out of the office and not give it to you. Because they got a quota just like insurance companies. They got to turn some people down. Can't give it to everybody. It's that simple. But these cunts that take $100 billion of your tax money, or Leon taking $43 billion, that's fine. No, those are contracts. They're not welfare. And, when we send money to Zelensky, that's wrong, but we can do, $100 billion and much more of your tax money going into crypto. That's not wrong, right? Right, Rubes? Right. In other words, bailing out crypto billionaires, that's a much worthier endeavor than helping the Ukrainians that are dying every day that we promised we'd help. Oh, this is a tweet by Donnie. And it's all in all caps. Elon and Marco have a great relationship. Any statement other than that is fake news. DJT. And then Ron says, Trump confirms that Musk and Rubio despise each other. Indeed. Always go with the opposite of what Donnie says, and you'll never go wrong. Always assume that the opposite is true. For instance, when he points to others and says they're pedos or globalists, that's Donnie admitting he's a pedo and a globalist, okay? Just want to let you know that. Oh, Donnie also wants you to shut the fuck up about egg prices. Okay? I know he lied to you and said he was going to get all that taken care of, lower the cost of eggs. None of you cared about that anyway. You were lying to us and yourselves anyway. You just want an excuse to vote for evil. So Donnie's getting tired of the egg talk. It's fucking up his Caesarship. Everything's supposed to be perfect. Not supposed to be no egg shortage and bird flu killing all the birds. And we got cats getting bird flu and seals getting bird flu and all, plague upon plague under Donnie's shitbags, the Antichrist. And believe me, more are coming. They're not going to get better. It's the apocalypse. So Donnie reposted this, and it's a Charlie Kirk picture and show, I guess. Charlie Kirk says, "Shut up about egg prices. Trump is saving consumers millions." So basically, that's Donnie co-signing it, reposting it, telling all of you out there, fuck off with the egg talk. Donnie's saving you billions of dollars. Actually, he's grifting billions of dollars, but he calls that saving you billions of dollars by putting it in his pocket, getting rid of all these agencies, employees, the tax money going into crypto, sovereign wealth fund, all that, right in his pocket. That's saving you billions. You should be grateful. Have you said thank you lately for Donnie stealing your tax money? Donnie using the presidency as a grift? Donnie betraying all our allies? Did you say thank you to Donnie lately for when you lost your job? Donnie, he's a savior. He's owning the libs for you by putting that money in his pocket that used to be your job. Because there was a budget that went along with that that's sitting in a bank account somewhere. That was your job. That is now in Donnie's pocket. Or that money went to the DOGE team that's costing us about $8 million a week in expenses. It was worth it, right? Bunch of cunts straight out of high school, college dropouts, just like Leon, because all they want to do is do a startup like Leon or Leon's daddy. It was worth it that they get the money, and you lose your job, right? Of course it was. Gulf of SpaceX debris. I love this when I saw it. Beautiful work. Because, Leon blows up rockets like they're going out of style. I have a quick cigarette here. It's a real professional operation, I know. I really go the extra mile. Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity might have got the big money, but they can't smoke on camera. You know what I'm saying? That would ruin the whole family values lie, facade they try and portray as they're sexually harassing women on the job. So that's the advantage of being small time. But if I did end up in a network somewhere, I would say something has to be in my contract. I'm very sorry. Otherwise, I'm going to have to walk. I have to be allowed to have at least 2 cigarettes per hour, even if I'm on camera. That would be a requirement. Okay, this comment by Leon. The second I read it, I knew it was an absolute lie. Again, just Leon just making something up again. Just a complete fabrication. An investigation has found 5 Act Blue funded groups responsible for Tesla protests, that's in quotes, Troublemakers Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democratic Socialists of America. You rubes are so fucking stupid. Act Blue funders include, here's the buzz name, the name you guys love because you all don't like Jews, let's be honest. George Soros. The omnipresent George Soros. Right, Alex? George Soros is here, he's there, he's everywhere. I was trying to take my hard-on pill the other night, and George Soros broke into my fucking house and took it right out of my fucking hand. I couldn't even fuck my mistress. It was fucked up. So there's the buzz name that gets all the rubes astir. Act Blue funders include George Soros. Meanwhile, the richest man in the world is telling you this, who bought an office in the White House. You fucking idiots. Reid Hoffman, Herbert Sandler, Patricia Baumann. Oh, wow, there's a lot of Jewish names here. Do you notice that? Wonder why the Nazi is naming all the Jews. And Leanne Hunt Hendricks. I don't know if Hunt Hendricks is a Jewish name, but I'm guessing it probably is. Act Blue is currently under investigation for allowing foreign and illegal donations in criminal violation of campaign finance regulations. Again, this is the guy who bought an office in the White House for $230 million and threw up a Sieg Heil at the inaugural. This week, 7 Act Blue senior officials resigned, including the Associate General Counsel. If you know anything about this, please post in replies. Yes, because all the protests at Elon's Tesla factory or Tesla showrooms, they have to be George Soros funded, right? No, Leon and Donnie are the ones funding things. Vlad is the one funding things. As you idiots point to Soros and all those people and say they're funding things. In other words, pure projection yet again by you rubes and your messiahs, your obese messiahs. This is legislation introduced by a Democrat. It will never pass, but it sends a message. That's why they're doing it. They want the subject brought up. Legislation introduced by Seth Magaziner, Democrat, Rhode Island, to prohibit funds for the armed forces to engage in operations to invade or seize territory from Canada, Panama, or Greenland. And this is called H.R. 1936, to prohibit funds for the armed forces to engage in operations to invade or seize territory from Canada, Panama, Greenland. Now, the fact that this legislation is even a thing should tell you where all this is going. When guys like Hitler or Donnie or Leon talk about annexation, that means war is coming, son. War is coming, son. That's what that means. That's what it meant in Hitler's day. That's what it means now. Again, that Nazi technocracy or technit map, that's real. That's a real religion, a real idea. And the people that believe in that religion now own your government and are dismantling it and looting it. Of course, the real religion, if we want to be honest, is Satanism. For Donnie and for Leon. Do you think Leon, the richest man in the world, wore that crimson night outfit with the Baphomet crest for nothing? Everything about Leon is contrived. Every t-shirt he wears, every pair of jeans, every belt, every jacket to hide his obesity. Everything is a contrivance, is a thought-out process well in advance, in service of some nefarious scheme. Well, the nefarious scheme by wearing that outfit as the world's richest man is to let you know, I worship Satan. That's what this is. That's what this crest is on my chest. I can't say it outright. And we can't use the number 666 outright. In fact, when people find out I own part of a building, 666 Fifth Avenue. I have to now divest and get out of that because that gives the game away. Me writing 666 on things, that would give the game away. That's why I have to write fight, fight, fight. I can't come out and say I'm a Satan worshiper. I have to wear a night outfit with a Baphomet crest. That's how I show my worship. Because I can't, in decent society, say, I worship Satan. Let me put 666 on this, and here, you use it to buy your groceries. We can't say that. It's taboo. It might turn some people off. So we write fight, fight, fight instead of 666. And we wear Baphomet crests instead. Because we can't just straight up say it. And I can't say I'm a Nazi either, even after I throw up a Nazi salute, literally. Do you understand how this works now? So that technic Nazi thing, yes, that's one aspect of it. That's one part of the religion. But the real religion is that gold statue of Donnie in the Holy Land. That's what this really about. Worship. I told you, that's the end goal he needs to get to. He's already worshipped by an entire sect of Jews in Israel that think he's some kind of savior. That's in the story as well, that the person the Jews think is the savior will really be the other guy, not the savior. Yeah, Donnie said, fuck off with the egg prices. People who are damaging Tesla car stores and charging stations. This is Leon's mother. Wait a minute, I forgot. I skipped something here. Leon's ran about Act Blue and all that, being responsible for the Tesla protests and George Soros. I forgot. Someone asked Grok if that was a legitimate claim that Leon made, if that statement that Leon made was true. And it says here, thanks, Grok. I figured your owner was full of shit, per usual, but I wanted to confirm it. He has a tendency to pretend that there is no organic opposition to him, and that shadowy Jews from overseas are out to get him. And it looks like this is another example of that paranoia. And it's okay. So here's the question this person asked Grok, which is Leon's AI. And the funny thing about Leon's AI is no one talks more shit on Leon than Leon's fucking AI. But don't worry, he'll tweak Grok to get rid of all that bullshit and make it more in Leon's biased, racist, Satan-worshipping image. Don't worry. He'll work out the bugs. He can't allow this to go on. So here's the question put to Grok. Is there any evidence that the current protests at Tesla dealerships are paid for by dark money groups or large Democratic donors? As of March 8th, 2025, there is no definitive, publicly verified evidence, such as financial records, receipts, or transparent donor disclosures, conclusively proving that the current protests at Tesla dealerships are directly funded by dark money groups or large Democratic donors. Oh, I don't have the part where Grok pulled up the thing about Jews from overseas, but Grok is literally saying there is no evidence to support Leon's claim. Leon is a liar. Only in America, only during the apocalypse, will we have the richest man in the world make just complete fabrications up. And his own AI says, yeah, that's bullshit, Leon. Can you believe that's your reality? It's really hard for me to accept that that's my reality. But I do accept it. And I think a lot of you are just going on with your lives and you're not coming to these realizations how fucking insane this is and illogical and over the top. So again, back to Leon's mom. And again, my first experience with Leon's mom is seeing her in that movie where the woman marries into this very rich family. She's very intimidated by it all, as most people probably would be. I mean, these people are filthy rich in the movie. And what the woman unfortunately discovers is the family has this tradition. They made a deal, one of their ancestors, with some really evil entity. And they got wealth and success out of it. And so did their descendants. And Mae Musk played Aunt Somebody, who years earlier had to sacrifice her husband to the game. And what it is every time a new member of the family or someone gets married and a new member comes into the family, they have to play a game. And one of the games is hide and seek, where they tell you to go hide and they find you and kill you. They have to do this before sunrise, or they lose the satanic blessing and they die. Mae Musk was the craziest of all the characters, and my God, she played it well. Why does she play it so well? Because that's what she is. Literally. Here we go. People who are damaging Tesla cars, stores, and charging stations are either paid for their criminal acts or believe the liberal media lies and should be tagged with "I find retards, I'm beyond furious." You have Leon's mom calling people retards on Leon's website bought with Saudi, Russian, and Puff Daddy money. That's where we at again. People don't realize how absurd this is. And she's doing the standard talking point thing. Either paid, that's code for George Soros. We all know what that's code for. Nazis and white nationalists. Or the liberal media lies. Of course, when the Rubes hear liberal media, oh, buzzwords, buzz phrases, and she even promotes Leon's account, "I find retards." Again, 50-something-year-old obese, richest man in the world allegedly, starts an account on the website he bought with Russian, Saudi, Puff Daddy money to call people retards. Again, only in America, only during the apocalypse would we see such a thing. It's utterly absurd. And then you have his mother co-signing it and calling people retards as well. This account is literally the way to call people retards. Yeah, I don't think Twitter ever has the right to take anyone's account down except for maybe blatant racism. When the owner of the account, the owner of the website is going around calling people retarded, starting accounts literally to call people retarded. Really hard to make an argument about someone else's post being inappropriate, isn't it? I think it is. Okay, they're trying to rehire some of the weather service people. And remember, this happened at Twitter. They fired too many people, and some of them were more critical to the operations, and they had to beg some of them to come back. And you all saw that and laughed and thought it was funny. And wow, only liberals work at Twitter, so that's really great that they're all losing their jobs. They weren't all liberals, don't worry. That's just what you were told and what you needed to believe. Once again, weather service, just like the nuclear people, they fired too many of them. Just like the Ebola response people during an Ebola outbreak in Africa right fucking now, they fired too many of them. Begging all these people to come back. Well, this is how they do it. This is what I wanted to read to you. This is the email that weather service people got after they got shit canned. This is to advise you that the notification of termination during probationary period sent to you on or about February 27 is rescinded, and it is regrettably was sent in error. You must return to duty on Wednesday, March 12, unless you request and are granted appropriate leave. Do you like the wording there? After they shit can these people as if they were nothing and laughed about it? Once again, Leon sending emails out with verbiage, if you'd like to call it that. You must return to duty. Cracko, what'd you say? I don't got to return to jack shit. You shit canned me, remember? Go fuck yourself. What kind of language is this? I must return to duty. Really? I thought I was fired. What happened? For all workdays between February 27 and March 12, you will be coded in an administrative leave paid non-duty status. You know what else? He's also telling you you're not getting back pay. Did you hear that? That's Leon. That's the corporate mentality. Oh, we fired too many to give the board members an extra $100 a piece this quarter. Call some of them up, say they have to return, and tell them they're not getting paid for the time we shit canned them for. That's what you gave your country to. That mentality. Nazis on top of it, Satan worshippers on top of it. Fucking literally. Here's Leon again. Starlink is not allowed to operate in South Africa because I'm not black. Oh, wow. The poor apartheid white South African boy who got the privilege of all the stolen land and privilege of a segregated society is going to complain now that the South African government is telling him to fuck off with Starlink. Are you fucking kidding me? He literally grew up in apartheid South Africa. And he's going to dare say they don't want Starlink because he's not black? Is you fucking kidding me? Wow. Again, Leon has really secured his place in the lake. He shows me every day where he's going. And again, that's not my judgment. That's something much greater than me. That named Leon and Donnie specifically as ending up with their ass in the lake. That's why I say what I say. Also, why I say what I say. If you take the mark, if you follow them all the way to the abyss, you are also going in the lake. That's not my judgment. That's what the story says. And the story seems to be coming true. Unfortunately for you and me. This person said, Elon, stop the victim complex. Starlink isn't banned in South Africa because of your skin color. It's because you refuse to comply with local laws like every other telecom provider. Play by the rules or stay out. Simple. Yeah, Leon doesn't like to play by the rules. Until a country like Brazil says, fuck off, we're going to shut down your whole website. That had Leon inside of a week conceding to their demands. That's how you have to treat this fat child called Leon Scum. There has to be consequences. Otherwise, he'd keep running his fat fucking mouth, his over-Botoxed face. And he'll keep doing damage until you make him pay consequences. Only thing Leon understands, only thing animals understand. The Premier of Ontario, I'm liking this guy more and more, although I didn't like this when he said this part right here, but I understand what he's doing and I like what he's doing now. Premier of Ontario confirms 25% tariff on U.S. electricity to 1.5 million Americans starting Monday. And these are the quotes by him. It's the last thing I want to do, but we're not going to roll over. I supported Trump getting elected. Low taxes, small government. Man, I was wrong. That's the most sincere statement I've heard come out of a MAGA person so far. What I don't like is the man identified with the MAGA thing before Donnie showed him that he's the Antichrist and he wants his whole country. So I don't like that part. But at least he's saying, man, I was wrong. That's the most sincere statement I've heard from a MAGA cultist after they've gotten fucked over. And boy, has Canada gotten fucked over. The whole low taxes, small government thing. You know, whenever the conservatives say low taxes, they mean for rich people, first of all. Small government, again, we don't want these handout programs like Social Security, Medicare. We want to pocket that money and give it to, do more tax cuts for the rich, give them that money. That's what the small government, low taxes philosophy actually is. Again, the leader of Ontario is learning the hard way, the premier of Ontario, that the MAGA ideology doesn't work. It's just a lie. And it's really just about grifting and stealing. Here's Leon again. I saw this early today or yesterday. Place sanctions on the top 10 Ukrainian oligarchs, especially the ones with mansions in Monaco. And this will stop immediately. That is the key to the puzzle. And Leon's responding to this Mike Lee comment, not another penny to Ukraine. Again, we got plenty of pennies for the Bitcoin thing coming up and the sovereign wealth fund, right? But no pennies for Ukraine because Vlad don't want no pennies going to Ukraine. And Vlad's put a lot of money into people like Mike Lee and Leon. I have a feeling Leon had to turn to the Russian mob just like Donnie did. And that they own him too. Just a thought. So since Leon's all about sanctioning oligarchs, I think that's a great idea. Let's start with Leon Scum. He's the ultimate oligarch, the richest man in the world, the ultimate globalist, Satanist, etc. So here's my suggestion. Every country across the world place sanctions against Leon Scum. And he should be cool with it because, look, he's promoting the idea right here. Let's sanction the top 10 Ukrainian oligarchs. Unfortunately, those oligarchs have fled the country because they were all on the Russian payroll. They were all crooked. But since Leon's into sanctioning oligarchs, I think that's a great fucking idea. Every country should place sanctions against Leon. No Teslas anymore. No subsidies of any kind going to his companies. It'll be great. And Leon's totally down with the fucking idea. He came up with the idea. Let's sanction some oligarchs. I suggest we start with Leon. We could get rid of DOGE and get rid of that $8 million a week price tag and all the traders that are taking salaries from the very agencies they're firing people at. We could take away Leon's contracts. That would save us with the DOGE and Leon's contracts over $500 billion. That's some real savings, baby. And then the sanctions, of course. Every country. Leon's idea. These are real comments. I verified them before. Because I asked myself when I saw them, are these real? I literally challenged Putin to one-on-one physical combat. This is Leon over Ukraine. And my Starlink system is the backbone of the Ukrainian army. Their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. What I am sickened by is years of slaughter in a stalemate that Ukraine will inevitably lose. Anyone who really cares, really thinks and really understands wants the meat grinder to stop. Peace now. Leon wants that Donnie to have that man of peace title as well. Leon understands what's going on. Plus, Leon works for Vlad. So, of course, he wants Ukraine to surrender. He wants to put the idea that they'll inevitably lose. I don't think they'll lose as the war is right now. If America jumps in and helps Vlad, which we're probably about to do, because, again, this is the beast and the false prophet, then they might lose. But this part here, saying he would never turn it off, their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. He's basically saying he would never turn it off and they would collapse if he turned it off. But the problem with that is he can't tell that lie, because in 2023, he literally turned Starlink off to save Vlad Putin's navy. And he used the excuse that, oh, it was an escalation. It would have started World War III. Who is he to make that decision? No, he was just helping Vlad. It's that simple. And he stopped a Ukrainian attack on the Navy that's, attacking Ukraine. So Leon can never tell this lie that he's never shut it off or would never shut it off, or their front line would collapse if I shut it off, because he did shut it off in 2023. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, and the lie about challenging Putin to a fight. I'm supposed to believe the guy who backed down from a fight with Zuckerberg offered to fight Vlad Putin over Ukraine. Yeah, that's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. And Vlad's ex-KGB, and even though he's an old man, I have a feeling he would kick Leon's ass. Because Leon is as soft as they fucking come. And Vlad knows a few tricks. Again, head of the KGB or ex-KGB. And here's another, I think this is real. You called my cars swastikars and now I'm losing money. I have just canceled Easter. You retards will learn. I'm pretty sure that's real. I could be wrong. I was kind of stunned when I read it. About 4 comments by Leon today I had to verify. This one I did not verify. I'm being honest here. But it sounds like him, and I don't know what canceled Easter is, but when the false prophet says they're canceling Easter, that means something to me, whether he cancels Easter or not. Oh, this is JD. This happened the other day, the incident with his daughter, alleged incident that he made up. Reminds me of some other people that like to exaggerate about, like, process servers and stuff. And then when they go to court over it, the judge tells them to fuck off. And basically says, yeah, it sounds like you just made this whole fucking thing up. Restraining order not granted. So this is JD's story, and then we'll get to the truth. Today, while walking my 3-year-old daughter, a group of Slava Ukraini protesters followed us around and shouted as my daughter grew increasingly anxious and scared. I decided to speak with the protesters in hopes that I could trade a few minutes of conversation for them leaving my toddler alone. Nearly all of them agreed. It was a mostly respectful conversation, but if you're chasing a 3-year-old as part of a political protest, you're a shit person. No one was chasing a 3-year-old. JD, Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz, they are that big of spineless cowards that they hide behind their children when people come at them in public. I saw a video of Tucker Carlson a few years ago. A gentleman approached him in public and, didn't have nice words to say. But you know what? That's the consequence of you being a liar, working for Russia, you trying to literally make the downfall of your nation happen so you can get richer. That's Tucker Carlson, who was already born rich, by the way. Filthy rich. So a man approached him, and of course, Tucker went right to, oh, I have my child, blah, 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 blah. Again, you pussies hide behind your children, and Leon with the kid on the shoulders all the time. These are the types of people we're dealing with. That they would hide behind their child's skirt when the consequences of their actions and words come at them in public. And this person is talking about a video. When you watch the video of JD, there's no threatening, there's no coming after the toddler, there's nothing like that. He just made that whole fucking thing up. Because he was scared, let's be honest. So this person says, we've seen the video of the attack on your family, that's in quotes. Those grandmothers sure must have been traumatizing, you lying, fraudulent coward. Indeed, it was a bunch of old women. And JD got scared. And people involved in the right-wing grift / terror machine like Margie Sporkfoot, JD, like that, they like to present the public as a threat to them when they are the literal threat to the entire world. People like Margie Sporkfoot and JD. I explained what the agenda is. Well, Margie and JD are all in on that agenda. Especially Margie. My God, she's a manly, white nationalist Nazi bitch. I think Margie got bigger balls than Donnie, actually. So yes, when you watch the video, it's just JD talking with a bunch of elderly women. And according to him, those Slava Ukraini protester geriatric women were coming after his toddler. Sounds very legit, right? This is the Tate brothers again. They left Florida in a hurry because DeSantis and the boys were letting them know, we coming for you. That you guys are a little too front and center with the sex trafficking stuff. We like to keep our sex trafficking people, on the down low. We don't like when you just come out and say it on camera, just like Romania doesn't like it when you come out and say it on camera that we're sex trafficking. It gives Romania a bad name. It gives Florida a bad name. Then you have authorities coming after you. So they went to UFC in Vegas, and there was two other people that they were hanging out with and were nearby. One was Kash Patel, and the other was Richard Grenell, the person that literally helped get the Tates out of Romania, pressured the Romanian government. What are the odds that the director of the FBI, Richard Grenell, and the Tate brothers are all in the same place right now? Grenell, the U.S. Special Envoy, is the man who pressured Romania to allow the Tate brothers to leave. I wonder if they will get photos with the bros. Exactly. So you had the Tate brothers, you had Dana White, you had Kash Patel, you had Richard Grenell. All at the UFC. Hanging out with sex traffickers. And, boasting of it. Again, when I say you MAGA people and this movement, these people in government are the literal hand of Satan, the hand of sex trafficking, the hand of globalism. That's why I say it right here. Cheering on the Tates when you were all about Pizzagate and Epstein and evil liberals for 40 years. Tells me you believed in nothing. You never cared about the little children. cheering on the Tates now, seeing all these MAGA type people shaking hands with the Tates as if, you know, they're buddies. That tells me all I need to know about you people. What also tells me is that 87 cops, firemen, pastors, clergy I see per week go down for raping minors, looking at pornography involving minors, children. Every day I see this. I don't present it to you, though, because I got enough depressing bullshit to lay on you people without that as well. My point is, the overwhelming majority of pedos and sex traffickers, etc., are on the right. I see it every day. There are people that keep track of it, and they post the pictures and the names every fucking day. And there are lists of people that were aligned with the GOP over the years that have gone down for these types of crimes. And the list is infinite. And there ain't many, again, it's overwhelmingly people that lean right doing this shit. And the reason I'm saying that again is because I see the evidence of it daily. The literal evidence, not the evidence you people found on Facebook. And this don't look good right here. Grenell, Patel, and the Tates, and Dana White. It don't look good. Looks a lot like Russia to me. Here's Leon co-signing Mike Lee again. Exit NATO now. So Leon and Mike are on the same page, and they got some talking points queued up. Leon says we really should. Doesn't make sense for America to pay for the defense of Europe. We're not paying for the defense of Europe. Our troops are there in case Vlad starts some shit with us, so we can respond in seconds. They ain't there to protect Europe. Just like the troops in Canada ain't there to protect Canada. They're there in case Vlad takes the northern route through Alaska, through Canada, to invade us. That's why we're there. That's the only reason. So this protection racket bullshit that Donnie the mobster's pulling on Canada, on Europe, pull out of NATO, etc., etc. He wanted to pull out of NATO last term. Remember that? Because Vlad don't like NATO. NATO's the reason why Vlad can't sweep through Europe and do whatever he wants. That's the only reason they want it to go down. Doesn't make sense for America to pay for the defense of Europe. We're not. We're paying for our own defense against Vlad Putin. That's it. The Cold War, it's been going on since 1945. Same old, same old. Has nothing to do with defending Europe or defending Canada. Donnie just running again a fake protection racket. He knows Canada has not produced nearly the amount of weapons we have and doesn't have the army we have or the equipment. He knows Europe has not spent the money that America has spent. Now they're going to, don't worry. It's going to be a lot of European weapons contractors and non-American weapons contractors making a lot of money in the near future. And I don't blame Poland and Europe and Canada for arming themselves now. Once you hear annexation talk by a madman, you need to start arming yourself. Once you see a Nazi Reich start developing, once you see fascism start developing, maybe you should arm yourself. Just a thought. Not to go out and attack people, I want to be real clear, to defend yourself from when they come for you. Because they come, and don't worry. For a lot of us. So my question is, why is a fat South African illegal alien saying that America should leave NATO? What gives him the fucking right? Who the fuck is he? He shouldn't even be in this country. He came to college on a student visa and dropped out immediately. Didn't go to no classes. He just needed that to get into America to start his businesses so he could be like his daddy. So again, why is an obese South African oligarch who throws up Nazi salutes saying we don't need NATO anymore? I don't like where all this is going. We're really getting isolated here. I said it would happen. America would be vulnerable. We'd have no friends. Because China ain't friends. Russia ain't friends. Venezuela and Saudi Arabia are not fucking friends. Looted, dismantled, vulnerable, no allies, attack. Rubes. I'm going to skip that one. Well, Tesla dealerships in Canada, the tax incentives are about to run out in Canada, and you have a bunch of dealerships that claim to have sold 8,600 cars in Teslas in 3 days. That's impossible. That's 2,150 each. That's 717 per day, or 30 per hour. If they were open 24 hours a day, which they aren't, why would they even do this? The Canadian EV rebate program was about to be paused. My guess is that Elmo and company decided to sell the cars to a quickly fabricated LLC, not register them, claim the 40 million in credits, and then resell the cars as new. Of course, that's what happened. You can't sell that many cars that quickly. Obviously, it was a cash grab of Canadian tax money. Well done. Here's Leon getting in an argument with the foreign minister of Poland, for fuck's sake. And the foreign minister, his name is Radoslav Sikorski, and he's commenting on this comment by Leon. I literally challenged Putin to a one-on-one physical combat over Ukraine, and my Starlink system is the backbone of the Ukrainian army. Their entire front line would collapse if I turned it off. Well, again, Leon already did turn it off in 2023. So there goes that lie, that premise, that paradigm. So the foreign minister of Poland says Starlinks for Ukraine are paid for by the Polish digitization ministry at the cost of about 50 million per year. Wow, Leon's such a great guy taking that 50 million, huh? Such a just noble. I'm so impressed. Because I keep hearing, oh, Leon's providing that for free. I keep hearing that. Of course it ain't fucking true. Of course it's not. The ethics of threatening the victim of aggression apart. If SpaceX proves to be an unreliable provider, we will be forced to look for other suppliers. In other words, if Leon dares shut this thing off on Ukraine again, we're going to go with somebody else. And Europe is ramping up that as well, launching satellites, trying to get a different option going as quickly as possible. Because Leon and America are not reliable and utterly have aligned themselves with the enemy. And that's obvious to Europe and Canada. That's why France is talking about sharing their nuclear weapons with certain countries. That's a good idea. It's a shame they don't share them with Ukraine. Anyway, so Leon sees this by the Polish foreign minister, and Leon says, be quiet, small man. He's calling the Polish foreign minister, who's paying the bill, a paying customer. Be quiet, small man. You pay a tiny fraction of the cost, and there is no substitute for Starlink. None of those are true. Except for the substitute for Starlink, it's not quite there for a lot of countries yet. This other system they're trying to get going. And the only reason Starlink is doing so good is because the American taxpayer, you paid for it. You made all those satellites go up in the air, not Leon. Leon just got to press the button like a little child. Everybody else did the work, and you paid the money, son. He didn't pay a fucking dime. So that's why Starlink is even a thing that he can hold over countries' heads and people's heads. Because you paid for it. Do you get any fucking profits off that company? I am so sick of American taxpayer money going into these fat cunts companies And we specifically as taxpayers, we don't get no profit from it. Why can we pay for it, but we can't get any fucking profit from it, son? Why is the socialism only going one way, son? Why ain't it going both ways? We need to end this bullshit right now where we subsidize companies and we don't get a check for it. I want a goddamn check next time I subsidize some fat ass worthless oligarch. And I think that's plenty o' fair to ask for. We want to do socialism one way, let's do it both motherfucking ways, where the poor get some of that money back, since you're using their tax money to pay for it anyway. Nah, we'll never let that happen. Instead, we got a fat ass worthless daddy's boy oligarch talking shit to the fucking foreign minister of Poland that pays the fucking bill. He's snapping again on a paying fucking customer. That's how small of a man we're dealing with. And I'm sorry, if I was the foreign minister, I'd be looking immediately for some alternative. If this motherfucker's insulting me as I'm paying the fucking bill. Okay, here's all the words you're not allowed to say according to the Reich. These are the words removed from federal websites. Here, the New York Times identifies words the Trump administration erased or discouraged in federal websites and documents, along with many of the ideas that the words express. I'm going to go through these quickly, like speed talking. Accessible, activism, activists, advocacy, advocate, advocates, affirming care, all-inclusive, allyship, anti-racism, anti-racist, assigned at birth, assigned female at birth, assigned male at birth, at risk, barrier, barriers, belong, bias, biased, bias toward, biases, biases towards, biologically female, biologically male, biopic, black. Wow, you can't say black. Breastfeed plus people, breastfeed plus person. Wow, we've got a problem with breastfeeding and just women in general, huh? Yeah, we do, because most of the people in this movement are gay men that hate women. I'm not saying all gay men hate women. I'm saying these specific gay men hate women. These specific Satanist gay men hate women. This specific group. Chest feed plus people, chest feed plus person, clean energy. Wow, that's bad. Climate crisis, that's bad too. Inclusive leadership, inclusiveness, inclusivity, increase diversity, increase the diversity, indigenous, community, inequalities, inequality, inequitable, inequities, inequity, injustice, institutional, intersectional, intersectionality, key groups, key people. Wow, you can't say key groups or key people. This is interesting. Key populations, Latinx, LGBT, LGBTQ, marginalized, men who have sex with men, mental health, minorities, minority, most risk, MSM, multicultural, MX. Those are all the words on the list so far. That the government wants scrubbed from reality. Dangerous fucking territory. But the Rubes don't care. Oh, Donnie and Leon, they still want Greenland. Again, the TechNet map. Let's look at it quickly. This is the technocracy or TechNet map drawn up by Nazis way back in the day for the North American technocracy. So you have Greenland, you have all of Alaska and Canada, you have America, you have Mexico, Central America, and the top portion of South America. TechNet of North America. And what has Donnie been asking for? Well, lately. Greenland, he wanted Greenland back in the first term, remember? So this plan, they've all been about this plan for decades. Again, Donnie wanted Greenland in the first term. He wants it now. He wants Canada. We already have Alaska. He wants Mexico. Well, he didn't say he wanted Mexico, but he did say he wanted Panama, which is basically the end point of the technic. I'm sure they would just take Mexico as well. Now let's read Donnie's statement. For the, I don't know, 37th time, he's saying he was going to take Greenland. Remember the speech the other day said we're going to get it one way or the other. He literally said that. As I made clear during my joint address to Congress, the U.S. strongly supports the people of Greenland's right to determine their own future. We will continue to keep you safe. Well, wait a minute. They already said fuck off, Donnie. They don't want to be part of America, but let's keep going. We will continue to keep you safe, that's in caps, as we have since World War II. We are ready to invest billions of dollars, that's in caps, to create new jobs and make you rich, that's in caps. And if you so choose, we welcome you to be a part of the greatest nation anywhere in the world, the United States of America. So Donnie and Leon, now they're promising riches, just like the little children's in Gaza. The money will be raining from the sky, right onto the little peasant Gazan children. That's what the commercial showed you. Now Donnie's giving you the commercial on Greenland, where money's just going to be raining from I'm going to make you all rich. No, Donnie's going to make himself richer and his buddies, and Leon richer, who wants the minerals and rights. And he'll sell access, just like Donnie wants to sell access to Panama Canal and anything else that makes money in this world, because Donnie considers himself Caesar of the entire planet. I'm not even joking. That's the way he looks at it. So again, this is the dream. That's why this is all being said. There's also another reason Satan, again, there's a higher plan. It ain't just about an oligarchy. It ain't just about a technocracy or Nazism. It's about worshiping a certain entity. And Donnie himself will ask for worship. They want Gaza too, and they're about to take it in the very near future. And maybe we'll actually see those gold statues of Donnie get put up too. Wouldn't surprise me. This is by the technocracy movement. Remember, Leon's granddaddy was part of this. This is one of the reasons I believe they got thrown out of Canada, Leon's granddaddy and grandmammy, because they were Nazis and they were part of this agenda, and Canada didn't want Nazis around. This is in Chicago. You got about, I don't know, like 100 fucking cops guarding a Tesla dealership. And what does this prove? What the police are really for in this world? The police are really to protect the rich from the poor they step on daily and rob from. That's all every officer is doing right there. Protecting the rich. The richest, actually. And again, why can't we all get security like this? I wouldn't mind having a couple cops, standing at my business. That'd be great. Oh, I'm not filthy rich, so I don't get that. There's a neighborhood in this area, one of the richest neighborhoods. I won't say what it is, but they have a police officer stationed in the guard shack at both entrances. And they don't have one of those levers that goes up and down that you got to go through. They just sit there and wave to you and let you go through. Because the cops probably said, yeah, we'll guard both entrances of this neighborhood, but we ain't pressing no button all day to lift the fucking thing. We're not security guards, even though we're literally being security guards. My point is, every neighborhood doesn't get a couple police officers at both entrances, do they? No. Only this super filthy rich neighborhood does. And only Leon does to protect his business. I mean, hey, I'm sure Google would like a line of cops in front of their business as well, and all the different companies, Apple. Even small, mom and pop stores, they'd probably love a couple cops standing there. Maybe the mob wouldn't shake them the fuck down for protection money if there was a couple cops standing there. But they don't get that. Leon does, though. Oh, here's where Leon said he'll never turn it off. I knew I saw that somewhere. Okay. Thought I fucked up for a second there. So again, Leon's saying exactly, to be extremely clear, no matter how much I disagree with the Ukraine policy, Starlink will never turn off its terminals. Again, it's too late for Leon to tell that fucking lie, because he turned it off literally in 2023, and he admitted it when Ukraine was about to attack the Russian Navy. In other words, he literally basically telegraphed that he's in league with Vlad and he's looking out for Vlad. And that's why he turned it off. So for him to now say he would never shut it off, it's too late to tell that lie, Leon. I'm sorry. You already did shut it off once. And that's, just the ones we know about. I am simply stating that without Starlink, the Ukrainian lines would collapse, as the Russians can jam all other communications. We would never do such a thing or use it as a bargaining chip. They would use anything as a bargaining chip, first of all. Look at the bargaining chip they went there for. We ain't going to give you no more help unless you give us mineral rights. As they're under siege, the very moments they are under siege, you have Fat Leon, Fat JD, Fat Rubio, Fat Donnie shaking them down for mineral rights. So, these people they're not above anything. They're below the gutter. They're the lowest pits of fucking Hades. So, the first sentence is a fucking lie. He's already shut it off on him. He will shut it off when he feels he wants to. He's done it before. And here's the evidence of that. This is from 9/8/23. I Googled it the second I saw his comment. I already knew the story. I Googled it in 3 seconds, and this came right up. Musk acknowledges he turned off Starlink internet access last year during Ukraine attack on Russia military. Last year on a Russian naval fleet, the Ukrainians were trying to attack it, saying he did so to prevent SpaceX from being complicit in a major act of war and conflict escalation. Again, I thought you were just a businessman. What do you got to do with what they use the stuff for? Again, he works for Vlad. He was just helping Vlad out. That's all that happened there. And he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, turning off Starlink intentionally. Leon decides which way the war goes by withholding help. Here we are again, where they're withholding all help. When's he going to shut off Starlink again? When's he go from that comment promising to never shut it off to shutting it off? I'm guessing in about a week. Elon Musk's and the Kremlin surrogate in Romania, Kalin Georgescu, has officially been banned from running in the election. This is what should have happened to Donnie at the very least. Again, not because I don't like him, not because I'm not MAGA, because he tried to overthrow the U.S. government. He's a traitor. That is why Donnie should have been, at the very least, banned from running again. What he really should have been is in prison until the trial happened. And if the government could have proved their case, then he gets his prison sentence on top of never being allowed to run again. That's really what should have happened. And what we really did with traitors, Donnie and MAGA love to bring that up. They brought it up all since 2015. What we used to do with traitors, firing squad or hanging. Donnie didn't get jail time. He was allowed to run again. There was no firing squad or hanging. There was nothing. And you wonder why 20 million less people came out to vote. Why bother? If you're just going to let Donnie slide, I don't blame a one of you. If you didn't come out for that reason, I don't blame you. They played games with you for 4 years, acting like they were going to take care of this problem. It's the whole reason 20 million extra people came out to vote. They wanted this problem taken care of. We got strung along because they were too afraid to take on the oligarchy. They weren't too afraid in Romania, thank God for you Romanians. They told this motherfucker he can't run again, but don't worry, Vlad will have another puppet, another sociopath, another traitor in your nation to fill that void and continue to run for the office. Here's what you people need to do and what every country should do. Anyone aligned with Russia in any way is banned. If they find out you took a payment, you got money stashed under the floor, if they find out you got Russian talking points coming out your fucking mouth every 3 seconds, you are banned. That's how we need to handle it. Too late for America, not too late for Romania. It's getting, South Korea's walking the knife edge. They letting a man out of prison, which is a big fucking mistake. South Korean Trump. Be careful. At least Romania is taking it seriously, much more than what America and the American rube has done. Our country's over again. And I'm going to end it with this. This is a little article from CNN. It's not that long. And it talks about several of you, MAGA people that voted for this. And now that you've found out that you've been fucked over, if you lost your job, and this is just the beginning, buckle up. It's going to be a long, horrid ride. A true nightmare of nightmares. That's what's coming. So it has about 3 or 4 rubes in here that are just like Donnie, who lost their jobs or lost something very precious in their life because they voted evil. And that's what this is. You had a choice between right and wrong, good and evil. You chose evil. Let's read this. They voted for Trump in 2024. Months later, his administration fired them. We warned you. All were warned. No sympathy, I'm sorry. 8 years of warnings. Guys like me and many, many others yelling their heads off. Michael Graugnard said he voted for Donnie in 2024 election because he felt Trump was the best candidate to improve the economy. No, because you're just like him and you dug the hate. Let's start being honest people. But 3 months into his new role as an attorney advisor for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Graugnard was laid off. Sorry, I have this in several shots. Along with thousands of other federal employees. The termination, Graugnard said, came as a surprise given his managers had assured him his job was safe. Don't worry. What's his name? Oh, Graugnard, Michael. Don't worry, Michael. You're too valuable to the company or the government endeavor. You're safe, buddy. Don't worry. Next thing he knows, he's fired. Just like, he trusted Donnie and Leon after they told him they were going to fire him prior to the election. They didn't say we're only firing liberals here. But I know in your mind, Mr. Graugnard, you think all the liberals in government are waste, fraud, and abuse, and you're special, and you're important, and you're in the cult, and you were untouchable. Nope, you're just garbage. That's all. That's how they see you. Sorry to break it to you. Sorry you had to learn the hard way because your biases got in the way of your best interests. My God, you fucking people are stupid. They literally said they were firing everyone in government. You work in government, and you voted for it. That's not logical. That means there was another reason. And it wasn't about the economy, son. Let's be honest. So he was assured by his managers, you're safe, buddy, don't worry. We got you. I was devastated, Grauknard told CNN. Again, we all tried to warn you, son. Adding this was his dream job and he had just moved to Little Rock, Arkansas with his pregnant wife and toddler for the position. Again, they told you they were going to shit can you. But that hate was more important, wasn't it, son? Of course it was. I was expecting to spend the rest of my life doing it. Guess what? The rest of all of your lives is going to be very short. You're not going to have to worry about 20, 30 more years. Don't worry. Thanks to you. And first, it cost you your job and your family's future. Now it's going to cost you your children's future and your country. And it's going to cost us the world, and it's going to cost us all time. Because you hate people. Grauknard is among many federal workers who lost their jobs 3 months after casting their ballot for Trump. Former federal employees told CNN they believed Trump's policies aligned with their values and would improve their lives. But now they have been left scrambling to find work. Really? Your values are you getting shit canned? No, your values were other people getting shit canned. And then it happened to you, and you realized you're other people too. But now they have been left scrambling to find work. And that's Donnie's tariffs and other countries not buying American, what Donnie's doing to the economy. That's going to hurt your chances of finding another job quickly enough to support your family. You fucking idiot. You were warned, but you knew better. The mass layoffs are part of Trump and Leon Scum's plan to cut spending and reduce the size of the federal workforce. They're not cutting spending whatsoever. Leon's getting billion-dollar contracts. DOGE is charging us $8 million a week. Donnie's grifting left and right, charging the Secret Service and God knows what to go golfing every weekend, just like first term. You guys saw that too, and you loved all that. If it was Obama golfing every weekend, no, charging the Secret Service, charging you room and board at his golf club. Oh my God, you people be rubbing shit on the walls, wouldn't you? Again. Of course you would, because you believe in nothing. The administration has laid off thousands of probationary federal workers, fired top officials and watchdogs, and convinced 77,000 workers to voluntarily leave their jobs through a deferred resignation offer. Grauknard said while he supports government efficiency, I keep seeing comments like this, he didn't vote for it to be implemented the way it's being implemented. Yes, we know. This is what I've been saying for 8 years. You people are just like Donnie. As long as it only hurts others, you're fine with it. And you just admitted it right there, son. That's what you people keep doing. You keep showing me that there's no real remorse. There's no sincerity. And you only crying because it came to your doorstep, just like I promised you it would. And there's many, many more of you that are going to get this same treatment. But you knew better. In other words, what is Mr. Grognard trying to say? The same thing all the other maggots say when they've lost their jobs. Thanks to Donnie and Leon. I like what they're doing. I just don't like that I got fired. You have just told me you have not had a change of heart, and you only care about this because it came to your specific doorstep. Guess who else you're telling that to? God. Your name's still on it, son. I hope you take your name off it for your sake and your family's sake. But you won't, because you know better, right? Of course you do. You got a house, you got a family, you had an okay job. Now it's all gone. But you knew better. Again, if you all would have just voted for the black lady, you would have put your racism aside for patriotism. In other words, not being a traitor by proxy by voting for a traitor. If you would have put your patriotism above your racism and voted for the black lady, you'd all still be nice and comfy in your government jobs, having that nice little house, a couple nice little cars, sending your kids to college. You could have done all that. Now it's scramble just to survive because you voted evil. That's simple. And you're not showing any remorse for it. You're just mad because the way it got implemented cost you your job as well. Person after person, maggot after maggot, I see this exact sentiment. I'm down with what they're doing, but I shouldn't have been fired. I'm too special. I'm too good. I'm too important. Nope. You're just another piece of garbage like the rest of them. You're the same piece of garbage you think those liberals are, those people you call waste. But the difference between the liberals and you is they didn't put their name on the Antichrist. I still support all the goals of the administration, and I think that I can respectfully disagree with the way those things are carried out, he said. There again, he's making that same statement over again. I still support the goals. Oh, rounding people up, separating, babies from their parents. Guy trying to overthrow the government. Stealing classified documents. Telling the world he's going to go on a revenge tour. You're down with all that. You're admitting that. But the only thing you're not down with is the way it got carried out. What's that code for, class? Well, I was cool with all those other people suffering and being targeted. I'm not cool with me being targeted, though. You're lost, son, and I hope you change. I'm not seeing the sincerity. I'm not seeing the remorse. Neither is the man. And that's who you really need to worry about. James Diaz. Here again, we got a man with a Latin last name. When the administration was saying, we're going to round you Latins up. Look at how many of you Latin people, again, I said this 12 months ago. I was on a live stream with Mr. Cortez. I said, if you look Latin, they're going to come after you. They have to profile. You fit the profile. How many Latin citizens, American citizens, have been harassed, handcuffed, profiled so far? I've read you the stories. Those are just the ones we know about that make it to the top of viral on social media. So James Diaz, a Latin, voted for the people that said they were going to round Latin people up, asylum seekers, illegal immigrants. And, if you just look Latin, you fit the profile. So he thought that was cool. He heard, even though he works for the government, he heard Leon and Donnie were going to come in and do what they did to Twitter, to the government. He thought that was cool. Then he got the pink slip. Now it ain't so cool. It's fun watching Leon fuck with alleged liberals on Twitter and fire all them. I can post memes of I love liberal tears and all this bullshit. Then they promise to do it to you in two ways. One, because you're Latin. Two, because you're a government employee. And you say, cool, I'm in the cult, I voted for it. They ain't going to touch me, man. They're only going to hurt other people. Nope. Again, 8 years, I've tried to warn people, and others have as well. It's going to come to your doorstep as well, as you're voting against your own interests. Over and over again. Cost of your country, cost of your future, cost of your job, going to cost the entire world, the entire planet. Oh, and he's a veteran, too. A veteran recently fired from his job at the IRS told CNN's Laura Coates that while he stands by his vote for Trump, here we go again. He disagrees with how the administration is handling the mass layoffs. Well, he obviously knew about the mass layoffs in advance. He's proving that right now. His performance reviews indicated he was meeting or exceeding expectations, Diaz said. This wasn't based on performance reviews. It's based on Leon and Donnie grifting and pocketing all the money. You didn't know? You better ask somebody, son. Oh, too late now. You already lost everything. Never mind. So we had great performance reviews. That always matters to companies, right? No, they don't give a fuck. If they want to give the board an extra $100 a board member this quarter, you're gone, son. It don't matter if you're perfect. Fuck off. It's just business, son. Sorry. Sorry you've been here 10, 15 years. And we all smiled in your face and patted you on the back and shook your hand. And we went to the barbecues together, but you're gone, buddy. Sorry. I don't think they are doing a very good job of finding out exactly what needs to be cut. Here's, again, the same sentiment over and over with you people. You never change. I see this with so many fucking humans. Just triple down on the fucking ignorance, on the fucking, what's it called? Stubbornness. Even as your whole world's being taken away by the very people you put your name on. And they told you they were going to do it in advance. They're not doing a very job of finding out exactly what needs to be cut. Why? Because they cut Mr. Diaz. That can't be right. You're only supposed to fire other people. They're the waste. They're the garbage. I'm not garbage. I've got perfect performance reviews. I kiss ass. I gave the boss a hand job. You still gone, Mr. Diaz. You still garbage, despite you thinking you're not garbage. They just showed you garbage. The guy talks shit on veterans for how many years? You vote for him. The guy talks shit on Latin people for how many years? You vote for him. The guy talks shit on government workers, says he's going to fire them all on his revenge tour. You vote for him. And then, after you lose everything, all of you all still have to say, well, I'm down with what's going on, just, the way it's implemented. In other words, again, what's that code for, class? I was down for Donnie and Leon hurting other people, just not to hurt me. That's what I'm not down with. Again, that shows me, son, your only place is the lake. I keep seeing this again, the same fucking sentiment from you people. Never a bit of remorse. Always, well, I'm still down with it, but I shouldn't have been fired. I'm too precious. I'm too important. I give the boss a hand job. I get perfect performance reviews. I really kiss ass, man. I'm a sycophant. I'm proving it. This can't be right. You didn't mean to do this to me, Donnie, right? No, he did mean to do it to you. Before the election, he already knew he was going to do it to you. He told you he's going to do it to you. But you're so stupid. You're so ignorant. You're so racist. You're just like Donnie to that degree that you take the shaft and then say thank you. Amazing. Amazing. And this guy's a, triple threat. Government worker, which they said they were going to get rid of everybody, just like Twitter. Veteran, Donnie's talked shit on veterans like for years. And Latin. Donnie's literal promise was to round up Latin immigrants. And you look Latin. My God. My God. But some fired federal employees say they regret voting for Trump. Well, yeah, I bet you regret it now. That does us no good. Does you no good either. A former worker at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services who asked not to be named said she was laid off just 3 weeks into her new job. She said she hoped Trump would improve the economy by creating more job opportunities and reducing inflation, and did not expect his administration to go after probationary workers. In other words, to go after her. When has Donnie made the economy good? When has Donnie created jobs? Donnie promised to get rid of a bunch of jobs. Donnie promised to implement tariffs. You saw what the tariffs did last time. So these aren't the reasons she voted for him. These are lies. These are what people say in interviews in front of other people, what they say behind closed doors, what they think behind closed doors is the real reason they vote for this fucking cretin and vote against their own interests. They're blinded by ignorance and hate and the desire to see someone go after the people they don't like. That's why all of you vote for this man. Let's be honest here. So she didn't expect them to go after her. If I had known that I would never have voted for him, she said, well, what do you mean if you had known, son? They said they were firing everybody. You saw what happened to Twitter. You saw them impose the tariffs and get farmers to commit suicide and lose their farms, etc. in the first term. And you were warned by me, by a million other people, yelling their heads off on camera for years. Oh, you did know, but you were hoping. Once again, I'm not hearing the remorse here. I'm not seeing the sincere change of heart here. Neither is God. If I'd known that, I never would have voted for him. Yeah, but you should have known that. I and others been telling you for 8 years, but you knew better. How you looking now? Looks like we knew better, huh? I would say so. This is going to completely tarnish the presidency, she said. Oh, tarnish the presidency. Nothing Donnie could do could tarnish him or the presidency any further, could it? He did a great job of tarnishing the presidency and making it a pure fucking abject grift last time. And you guys all saw that and you didn't care. No, what it's going to tarnish is your life, honey. Because you're going to have to scramble to find a job in a tariff nightmare. With Donnie changing his mind every day to pump the stock market. Meanwhile, you begging for an interview so you don't fucking lose your apartment. Fucking idiots voting for their own, against their own fucking interests. Riley Cooper said she voted for Trump in November because he promised to make in vitro fertilization available for free. Sure, honey. Sure. Cooper said doctors had told her IVF might be her only option for conceiving a child. Going into the voting booth, the main thing on my mind was, I want to be a mom, Cooper told. Sure, Riley. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you're a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman, would it? Nah. And I don't remember hearing Donnie say he's going to make IVF free and all that. When was that talk going around? Oh, that's right. That's just a bullshit excuse for someone who's just like Donnie to justify the evil they've committed by putting their name on it, and that has now cost them their job. Last month, Cooper was laid off from her job at the U.S. Forest Service. She told Coates she now regrets supporting Trump. I bet you fucking do. That's why we were all yelling for 8 years, honey. Because we didn't want you to regret voting for him again. And now we all must suffer your ignorance and your existence. As you ushered in the Nazi technocracy apocalypse. Again, MAGA folks, I know you thought it was just like all the other times, that you would just put your name on evil, you'd vote for evil, watch the damage be done, and go about the rest of your lives in the F-150. Nope. This time, the bill is motherfucking due. And Riley's finding that out. Riley, another one who thought she was too special to lose her job. No one is too special to lose their job. I don't care how important they project themselves onto others or themselves. That's America now, baby. No one's safe. Even a CEO could get axed tomorrow. Like he ain't shit. I've seen it happen. Riley Cooper said she voted for Trump in November because he promised to make in vitro. I read that. And I read she was laid off. Trump, who last year called himself the father of IVF. I miss this. Where do we get this shit, the father of IVF, from? Where'd that fucking come from? A couple of you idiots fell for it, I see, but that's not really what you fell for, let's be honest. So he has not made IVF free, but instead signed an executive order last month to expand access to an affordability of in vitro fertilization. I made a decision that, looking back, I am not proud of. Yeah, because it came back to bite you in the ass. Now, she was saying this after other people got hurt, and she saw that and said, oh my God, I made a big mistake here. I didn't know he was going to go out and hurt these other people. I regret my decision. I'm not proud of my decision. That's not why she's saying it, son. She's saying it because she lost her job. That's the only reason she cares. I'm seeing this with maggot after maggot. What the fuck is wrong with you people? He literally takes your livelihood away. And you still say things like, I'm down for what he's doing, but I don't like the way it was implemented. They're getting too crazy with the firings. Why? Because they fired you. And that's the only reason you care. That don't look good on your resume, son. And I ain't talking about your resume for the next bullshit-ass corporation you're going to lie your way into. I'm talking about your resume for the man. This ain't going to look good. You only caring when it comes to your motherfucking doorstep. You not caring. In fact, you enabling it, making it happen, the damage to other people. If you would have cared about that damage and woken up and realized, oh shit, I'm the blame for that. I put my name on this. If that's when you came to your realization, I'd be proud of you, and so would God. But that's never the case with you people here. I only see you have that come to Jesus fake moment when it comes to your doorstep specifically. And then even after that, you still down with it. Oh my God, that's not good for you. Oh, she's got more here. When you're voting on something that affects you so personally, it's really easy to get tunnel vision. Indeed. Indeed. I noticed that about a lot of you folks. The fake reason you throw out there to vote for him is the alleged reason you had tunnel vision. No, that's not the reason. The reason is you're just like him in a lot of ways, and you see something you like. It's that simple, and I could tell by what you say after he takes everything from you. The bias, the brainwashing, the hate, the evil is just too strong in you. And you can't let it go. And you just brush aside all the things you've seen. And all the things you've seen were put there for a reason by God, intentionally, so you'd have no excuses at the end of this. And that's the end. And I got the thumbnail for the last video. Doge that debris, motherfuckers. All you maggots. That debris's coming to your doorstep, son. It's already piling up in the Gulf of Debris, Gulf of Mexico. You're seeing a lot of this shrapnel come right to your door. I haven't seen a one of you yet in all the stories I've read to these good people here that have actually had a sincere change of heart, a real come to Jesus moment. You need to have that. You need to look in the mirror and really ask yourself, why did I co-sign this? Why did I vote for this 3 times after all I've seen? I need to let that hate go, man. I need to stop hating people of different political ideologies. And let me tell you something, assholes that are down with this. Nazism is not an ideology or political perspective. Nazism is a death cult. White nationalism is not a political idea or perspective, not even worth listening to. It's a death cult. It's racism. Hating liberals and gays and transgenders and all that, wanting to kill them, having dummies in your backyard, again, as target practice with the word liberal or Nancy Pelosi or whatever. That means you got murder in your heart. You need to get rid of that. You're the problem. All of you, all these people that lost their jobs that still are down with Donnie. You just ain't down with you getting fired. You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself why you think that way. Why do you enjoy seeing other people get hurt? But when it comes to your doorstep, you start crying. And then afterwards, again, after it comes to your doorstep, the devil literally comes to your doorstep. You still defending the devil. It's fascinating to watch. Again, so I've seen this comment so many times by so many people, and I've thought to myself, I always wondered how the German people allowed Hitler to happen, how they went along with it. As I watched this from 2015 grow into what it is, I know now it makes perfect sense to me. It's literally happening again. And you've all made it happen, the ones who put your name on this. And I've seen people posting over the years the same exact sentiment. I always wondered how 1939 Germany happened. Now I know. Rubes and the greedy at the top, and Satan and Nazis. And guess what? We got the same exact thing happening now. Anyway, the point is, you need to turn away from this. And if you still ain't turning away, even after you lost everything, then you just lost. And I don't know what you need to see to turn. I'm really hoping somewhere along this process, in this next couple years, as the atrocities keep happening, I am hoping there's a major conversion of millions of people in one day because of something so horrible they've seen. I'm hoping that's where this is going, but I don't know about that because, again, the stubbornness of the human being that I've seen on my time on this planet is astounding to me. And they will defend the entity or person that puts a shiv in their fucking back. They'll still defend it based on a team sport mentality, a hate mentality. Even after they lose their livelihood, man, and it is hard to find a good job these days. Anyway, until the next episode, you people, again, you need to look in the mirror. These people, you lost your job and all of a sudden you're having a fake come to Jesus moment, but I don't see no sincerity. You need to have that real come to Jesus moment where you have empathy for other people, not just yourself and your plight. Anyway, until the next fucking episode. If the world doesn't blow up by then, if Vlad doesn't shoot a nuke into fucking Chernobyl or something. Because of you rubes emboldening this bullshit. Until the next episode, have a wonderful morning.